This morning, we're going to savor the culinary celebration and making some drinking chocolate. Welcome, Frank. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. Very much my pleasure to be here.
This is really cool. And when I saw this on the lineup for the week, I thought, drinking chocolate. All right, so we're making hot chocolate. And then I remembered, wait a tick. It was a different thing in days of yore. What is drinking chocolate?
Well, this is entire chocolate, 100% cacao. So as we make it at Colonial Williamsburg, it's pure chocolate. And so that has about 52% fat in it, which acts very differently from cocoa powder, where the fat's been removed, and that's mostly what we think of as hot chocolate today.
Interesting.
So when you take that fat out, you take out a lot of calories, but also some of the flavor and some of the heaviness of it. Chocolate was most frequently consumed as a breakfast in the 18th century. In fact, the first reference we have to it in Virginia is the president of the College of William and Mary writing in his diary that I breakfasted on chocolate in the 1690s.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean he ate a bunch of candy bars. That means he drank a hot chocolate.
And we hear so often, by today's standards too, that a little bit of chocolate, especially dark chocolate, can actually be good for you. So I wonder if they were ahead of the curve in some ways.
Probably so, yeah. Because they're dealing with the pure beans, the pure chocolate. It has all the nutritional goodness. And the less you process it, the less of that stuff gets destroyed. So all the flavonoids and all the things that are good for your health are much more prominent in the chocolates that are lightly processed like this.
And so when folks come out to the Williamsburg Taste Festival, they're learning about food heritage. It's a different kind of celebration.
Exactly right. I'm going to go ahead and add my chocolate here to my liquid, get ourselves a nice pot of chocolate made up.
And your liquid was?
Just milk in this case. We could also use water or even red wine.
Oh.
There's a wonderful recipe for wine chocolate on our food blog.
Interesting. I mean, I guess sometimes you do see dark chocolate paired with wine, so is the copper pot essential, or is that just for looks, Frank?
It's nice. It conducts heat very well,
yes.
But only the royal governor, who I cook for, can really afford a lot of copperware.
I understand.
Any pot will do fine with this.
So this one's coming together. It looks beautiful. What other spices are in this mix, and what would be traditional for drinking chocolate?
You know, the English like a lot of different spices in their chocolate. Nutmeg, cinnamon, cayenne pepper, cloves, ginger, allspice, or what's called Jamaica pepper at the time. All are very common additives to chocolate in this period. And what they liked about it the best was the foam or froth on the top. They usually got their chocolate plain without any sugar, and then when they made the beverage, they added the sugar and the spices that they liked.
And we're seeing you have some traditionally looking sugar over here.
Sugar in our time came in a large sugar loaf or cone. It was hard. You would break chunks off of that and crush it up to make your to sweeten your item.
I'm dying to use your broom whisk. Can you tell?
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
These are birch branches or silver hazel wood. Both will work well. They remain flexible when they're dry, so they do a wonderful job of whipping air into things and making a nice whisk.
Because you were pretty vigorous with this whisking over here, so you were incorporating some air.
Yeah, and we want to get that chocolate nice and melted, but we do want air in it. The thing they liked the most in the 18th century was the foam on the top of the chocolate.
Oh.
Today, we use artificial means to get that foam, you know, whipped cream or marshmallows. But for them, they did it by just good old-fashioned whiskey, as you're doing there.
I would be kicked out of the kitchen. I just spilled over the side.
And then the chocolate pot, you can always tell a chocolate pot because it has a hole in the lid. That hole is for this thing called a molino, little mill. And that will allow us to foam it up right before we drink it.
Oh, okay, so an old school frother.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that would froth it up.
So you're one of the experts that's part of the Williamsburg Taste Festival. There are several others. This is a big deal.
Yes, that's our chef from the inn, Travis Burst, will be there with his crew. And there's all sorts of wonderful foods and beverages that will be available at the festival. And then for the historic side of things, we also make our chocolate from the bean every Tuesday at the Governor's Palace Kitchen from 9 to until noon. So if folks are interested in seeing the process of making chocolate, come on down to Colonial Williamsburg and visit us on a Tuesday, and come by the Governor's Palace and you can see it in action.
Was the cacao one of the commodities in that day?
Absolutely. Most of our cacao 200 years ago came from what's today Venezuela. Caracas and Curacao, the Dutch island just off the coast there. Technically, that's not supposed to happen. We're supposed to buy from English colonies, but the English didn't grow a lot of chocolate. So we ended up getting these from Central America mostly, but shipped out through Venezuela. And we would get the beans, roast them, shell them. There's a little thin shell on them, and grind them into chocolate ourselves. Or big manufacturers also did that in cities like Philadelphia, Boston, and New York, and so forth.
We have about 15 seconds left. I've worked every muscle
here
in this one arm, so I'm going to take a breather
No
and
problem.
cool down with a nice cup of hot drinking chocolate, right? Turn that off,
here.
pour it in. Better you than me.
Oops.
Oh,
now I'm messing up.
Clean up in aisle 3. Okay. And so this goes in. You still have to froth it, or we're good to go?
Yeah, I think it's pretty foamy right
Okay.
now. So let's give you just a little sample of that.
Sounds good.
For tasting.